Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dwayne Kimball, United States Army veteran and retired VA rating specialist. Today I'm bringing you another educational video as it pertains to the VA compensation claims process. And the topic of discussion is, should you use a VA accredited lawyer, a VA accredited claims agent, a VA accredited VSO, or a consulting firm? I'm going to answer that question. Also, I'm going to let you know what I decided to do and why. So let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, so I got a hot topic today. Should you use a VA accredited lawyer, claims agent, VSO, or consulting firm? But before I answer that question, let me say this. At the end of the day, it's your decision. I'm not going to tell you you should do this or you should do that. It is your decision. If you want to go out and pay someone, fine. If you want to go and use someone that's free, fine. If you want to have a lawyer represent you and let them take 20% of your retro on appeal, that's fine. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so my answer to should you use an accredited lawyer, an accredited claims agent, an accredited VSO, or consulting firm? And my answer is none. You heard me, none. Even though my consulting firm, we only educate veterans on the process, I am still saying none. And the reason why I say that is because this is something you can do yourself. If you get up, put the ground underneath your feet, the wind behind your back, and invest some time, go out to the VA's website and get a better understanding not only of the VA claims process, but the criteria you have to meet, okay? All you got to do is invest time. Trust me. Now, you can have a fully developed claim, all your I's can be dotted, all your T's can be crossed. If you or your claim lands on a desk of a VA employee that's not an advocate for veterans, if you go to a CMP exam and you have a CMP examiner that's not an advocate for veterans, meaning they don't do it the correct way, they don't do it or follow the VA guidelines. It doesn't matter if you have an accredited person or you're working with a consulting firm. If you run into one of those two situations, it doesn't matter. They're going to find a way to deny that claim. Now, that's okay, because when they do, or they don't follow the VA regulations, you're already educated. You're already educated on the process, and so you can negate that by, hey, I'm gonna go this route, I'm gonna go that route, all right? So, what did I decide to do? I decided to adjudicate my own claim as a former VA rater, but I needed a little help. So I went out and I signed up with a VSO office. Now you may be saying, Dwayne, well, you're contradicting yourself. I'm glad you're thinking that way, because earlier I told you I was going to explain why I did it. I did not sign up with that VSO office to represent me. When I signed that form, I told them, I said, I don't want you all to represent me. That's not why I'm signing up. So let's not get it twisted. I wanted to make that perfectly clear. I do not want your representation. So you might be thinking, Dwayne, whoa, wait a minute. You got me out of left field. Okay, let me bring you back in. As VA employees working at a regional office in any state, when you hire in, they ask you, are you service connected? Or do you have family members that are veterans, okay? And then they place what is sensitive 7 or sensitive 6. So I was considered sensitive 7. What does that mean? I could not look at my own claim. The VSOs could. I couldn't, okay? When I started my claim, it was paper files. So they had it under lock and key in management. And if you had sensitive 7 access or sensitive 6 access, you had to go sign a log. They would get you the actual claim form, claim folder. Either you would get it or your supervisor would get it, and you could review that folder, make a decision or do development or whatever you had to do. So It wasn't, my file was not even in my regional office. It was in another regional office. And I've talked about this in some of my other videos, okay? So the reason why I signed up with a VSO is not for representation. It was because I could not see my own claims folder. Now, a lot of the veterans, they'll contact me and say, Dwayne, I'm having problems with my lawyer, who's accredited. I'm having problems with my VSO, who's accredited. What do I do? Well, one of the things I did, I ran into a buzzsaw. So my local VSO office, in the regional office that I worked at, went downstairs one day and I said, hey, can you call your counterpart, and this was in Minnesota, can you call your counterpart in St. Paul, Minnesota, the regional office, right? They did, got him on the phone, and he says, hey, I'm here with Dwayne Kimball. He's a rater here in this regional office, and he has some questions about his claim. So I asked her, I said, hey, I got a rating decision. I looked at, I got a copy of the code sheet, and I feel that the rater is violating one of the 38 CFRs, attitude of the rater, because they put in this special notation box on the code sheet that I was a VSR, and I was not a VSR. And that's why they weren't granting me the percentage that I felt I deserved and what the paperwork called for. Now, I know that what I just went through is a lot of VA language, but this VSO wasn't doing what they were supposed to do. They actually signed off on that particular rating saying it was good to go. So I questioned that, and I asked her, could she go and put this in my folder? She got upset. And basically she told me I didn't know what I was talking about. Okay, and that was a huge problem. I'm like, what do you mean I don't know what I'm talking about? I'm rating cases. You don't rate cases. I was trained by the VA. You were not trained by the VA. And then I was like, you know what? Okay, not a problem. Talked to a supervisor, and I relayed to him, I didn't sign up for you to represent me. This is why I signed up. So I caused a stink, okay? And I was perfectly fine by that because I know what I needed to do with my claim, okay? So understand, I wanted you to understand what I did, but more so why. Even when I went in for an appeal, I went to my VSO and he said, do you want me to, attend? He said, you know what you're talking about. Do you want me in the room? And I knew him, he was pretty cool. So I was like, yeah, no problem. I said, but I don't want you to say anything. You can introduce us when we get on camera, but that's it. I don't want you to intervene. I got this, trust me. And that's exactly what happened. They gave me an hour. He probably spoke 10, 15, 20 seconds, the introduction. I talked the other 59 minutes. I went in, I had a legal pad. I had my built claim folder, okay, my own, because back then it was paper. And I went in and I think I appealed 7 or 8 different things, walked out, won every single one. So that's why I'm saying this is something that you can do. Now you might be saying, Dwayne, well, you were a VA rater. You had all this training. Guess what? Those 400 videos that I'm giving you, that's the blueprint. That is the blueprint. A lot of my videos that have less than 5,000 views, those are the nuggets. I know it's boring. I know it's boring. But if you want to win, you better invest the time and watch some of those videos. Okay? Now, again, going back to my VSO, when claims became electronic, I didn't have to deal with St. Paul, Minnesota, that VSO that was rude, hardly ever picked up her phone, always just negative, 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 right? Now, I'm not saying all VSOs are like that. It would be irresponsible for me to say, oh, this VSO is bad, so all VSOs are bad. Oh, this lawyer is bad, so all lawyers are bad. That's like me saying, it's irresponsible for anybody to say, oh, well, this consulting firm does this, so all of them are like that. That's very irresponsible. If they say that, then you can also say, well, every lawyer that's accredited is bad. And I wouldn't say that because I know some really, well, don't know, but I worked with some really good law firms when I was at the VA that were awesome, okay? And along with VSOs and claims agents. Some of them, straight dirtbags, horrible. I don't know how else to explain it, okay? Now, when the files went electronic, I didn't have to deal with Minnesota anymore. I could go right down to the VSO office and the regional office and say, hey, pull up VBMS, give them my social security number, turn the screen around, and let me click on the notes section. Okay, go here. Let me look at this addendum, 2507 medical request. Let me see what note. Yep. Okay, cool. And that was it. Okay, so I'm telling them what I need, not them telling me not the other way around. Okay, but at the end of the day, I'm giving you the blueprint, my videos, my book. People have left me comments and said, hey, Dwayne, I've been following you for a year. I've been following you for 2 years. I got your book. You helped me go from 0 to 90. I got the book and helped me get over the hump to 100. That's where I felt I should be. Okay, so, and guess what? They never picked up the phone and called me. I get emails, phone calls, okay? And they're just telling me, hey, keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate it. The videos are good. It helped me get to where I needed to be. You changed my life. You changed my family's life, okay? So at the end of the day, this is something that you can do yourself. Now, I know a lot of veterans, they need that help. They need people filling out the forms. If you need somebody to fill out the forms, you need to go get an accredited person. Make sure they are the right accredited person. Not all accredited individuals are good. You got some out there are bad, okay? And I've seen them. I can tell you a national organization, when I worked at the regional office, the only time I saw individuals from this particular VSO office when I was getting lunch. That was it. That was it. And they didn't have a really good reputation, all right? It's a big organization, all right? But at the end of the day, the decision is yours. Just make sure you ask questions. But again, you can do this yourself. Just put the time in, okay? So with that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and don't forget to share this video with your fellow veterans. Thank you.